right. So before we get started, there is so much going on in the world right now, and we want to acknowledge that. And another thing that we want to acknowledge is that tomorrow is Michael Dean's birthday. And unfortunately, he's a little under the weather. So send him some sparkle dust to make sure that he's able to enjoy his birthday tomorrow.
Send him some podcast juice. That's what he needs. He needs plenty of podcast juice. So we sending all the purple podcast juice to Brother Dean. There you go.
Yes, indeed. And get this party started for Michael Dean. All right. So we got Anna B first in the chat. We got Gabrielle from Australia. That's really loud. And for those of you who don't know, this is Prince on the drums. And obviously, Eric leads on the horn. So we got Gabrielle from Australia. Love listening back to Brother Dean's rendition of Arms of Orion last week. I missed that, but it was the anniversary of the UK release of Arms of Orion last week. So for all of you Arms of Orion lovers, I hope that you celebrate it.
That's my Arms of Orion dance. All right, we do. That's it.
Oh my God.
Damn, I'm old.
So that's your Tai Chi. See, Lee. Yeah. We got to do that as we age. We got Drea dances in the house. Have a dance rehearsal today. I love that. I wish I had a dance rehearsal. We got Cassandra Bradley in the chat from the ATL. We got Detroit in the house. What up, though, with Andre Staley. Yeah, we've had some people that saw the Purple Rain musical. Let's see if anybody else has seen the musical recently. And then we got Nick Felden from Denver. 2 more weeks until the Around the Rolling a Day Deluxe Edition is released. And we got, and I'm ready for that. And we got Christina Schlosser from Minneapolis. We got TP. I love that. TP Libra. Added Libra on there. And let's see. Okay, so Christina saw the musical last Sunday. Overall, Christina enjoyed it. The only thing was the story in the second half. It felt rushed and needs some work. So hopefully they'll work it out before it gets to Broadway. Then we got my alliterative brother, Blade Brown, in the house. We got Arlene Oak from Snowy, Canada. We got Man Ray 10, Hola everybody. And we got Raywin Harris. Yes, happy birthday to Michael Dean tomorrow. And Michael Dean is under the weather, Raywin, because I know you love you some Michael Dean. So that's why he's not here today. And we got Sister Charles in the house. I love this ending. Yes. We hope that Michael Dean gets better soon. And yes, got to make sure and welcome Modernaire. We got to welcome Chris Bournet. We got to see a lot of happy birthday, Michael Deans. We got D68A in the house. And from a fairly cold and damp UK. That's the only reason why D68A, I never moved to England, even though I wanted to move to England, was I could not deal with the gray and the cold.
Wait a minute. You got to say it right. This is the DE68A show. All right, let's go.
All right. And yes, Blade Brown, the Sea of Tranquility for the Arms of Orion people. We got Vanessa in the house. We got Audra from the ATL. We have Ron, Kayla, and we got Kim TV, our timekeeper. Hopefully we'll be on time today. And we got Duke Swan, Morning Purple family. We got Lisa Williams from H-Town. And seems like there's an extra week for the Purple Rain musical in Minneapolis until my birthday, which is November 23rd. And then we got Dublin, Ireland in the house. Welcome, Mirror Love to you. Love that. And we got 71 in the house. Okay. And Raywin is listening to the Prince Hello Fresh dance mix on all streaming services. Wow, we got some more Australian folks in the chat, and it's 4 a.m. in Australia. You are dedicated. all my Australian listeners. Thank you for being here. I didn't realize it was 4 a.m. there, but welcome, Brian. It's such a pleasure to have you here. We got Heavenly Gaines. Always love to see your name in the chat. We got Arnie. I can't talk today. Annie Ward. Arms of Orion is a guilty pleasure. I hear that. I love Annie Ward saying love from under the cherry moon country, and everybody should know that it's France if you don't understand. And then we got Golan Fuller, if I'm saying that correctly. Peace and blessings to everyone. Much respect given to Michael Dean. I've been listening to him for over 10 years. That's right. That is a long time, Golan. And then we got LTKK, Purple People in the house. Lady Cab Driver 72. What up, Purple Politicians? Yes, got to make sure we give all the love to Michael Dean for his birthday tomorrow. And Cassandra is saying, I saw the Purple Rain musical October 25th, enjoyed it, but it was long. Got autographs with Chris and the cast. That's right. Yeah. That's the way to do it. I love that, Cassandra. I love autographs. Let's see what LT is talking to Celia. I recommend you to this website that lists all artists from Mississippi. They said they'll add you once they finish their site redesign. That's very nice.
Appreciate you, LTKK. I appreciate you on it.
That's really awesome. And yes, gotta make sure in case Michael watched this. And let's see, we got JD in the house. Good morning. And let's see. Yes. Okay, so Vanessa's with me. The weather is the main reason why I can never move back to the UK. Depresses me every time I visit. I suffer from SAD, so I just knew it would be sort of a non-starter, but I would have loved to have moved to England at one point in my life. Yes, Andre, Arms of Orion should become our theme song, I guess. And we got we got SMS 1:30 official. What time is it? Love that. And we got Carol Brooks from Panama this week. Nice. Awesome. Okay. And let's see. And we got Suzu Petals. We got to make sure that Michael Dean sees his podcast juice from Anna B.
There you go.
Yes, for sure. All right. So, Brian, that's your Australian mate there. And we got Mira in the house. Okay. And anybody see the Michael movie trailer? I don't.
I did. In fact, I went to tell you, I can't remember who said it, but somebody said want to be starting something Thursday. I knew that was a reference to the Michael Jackson movie trailer. Look here, I can't speak for the movie, but if you go by the trailer, that movie gonna be awesome. Cause the trailer is, and I'll tell you what's funny. I just say this just quickly. It's funny for those. You know what know what I realized? We have all on this chat, well, most of us in this chat and on this screen have gotten old enough to now all the biopics are about people we know, right? If you go back to the Queen biopic, and now you got the Bruce Springsteen biopic, and you got the Michael Jackson biopic. And so now it's like, it's just funny that all the people, all these famous people are people who are of our childhood. And so I think we go to it with kind of a different kind of, because we were there and we lived it. And when you were there and you lived it. So now I'm looking at it like, does that dude really look and sound like Quincy Jones? Does this dude really look and saying that trailer is awesome. I have to give it up. I don't know what the movie gonna be, but that trailer is awesome. I'll shut it.
Okay. And what platform is it going to be on? Does anyone know?
I know Lion Gates is the company that has the movie.
All right. Okay. All right. So let's get our housekeeping started, and I'll turn off the comments for just a second. So this is week 45 of 1985 of What Did Prince Do This Week? A very slow read of Duane Tudahl's Prince Studio Sessions book series. And we're doing this week to week, not date to date, in our books, Sunday to Saturday of 1985. You can follow the detailed schedule or this bit.ly link for a breakdown of the pages. And you do not need the paperback, but that's what C. Lee and I got because it is the updated version with 50 more pages. That's right. And
Mo is always Mo.
yes, Mo is always.
All right, that message. No. Mo is always Mo. Don't forget that.
I've never heard that, C. Lee, but I am going to take that. I love that. Mo is always Mo. All right, and these will be archived at Polished Solid as well as at MDean. Please take the time to subscribe, hit that like button, and help spread the word. I really would appreciate it so that we can get more people reading Duane's book, more people learning about Prince's work ethic, and I'm sure there's more music nerds out there that would like to know what Prince did this week. Okay, and then you can use the hashtag WDPDTW for what did Prince do this week. And if you want to send us anything, you can always reach out to us at WDPDTW@gmail.com for what did Prince do this week. And then this is an independent endeavor. The Estate of Prince Rogers Nelson is not affiliated, associated, or connected with the What Did Prince Do This Week book club series. And our community guidelines are we choose to be a community even when we disagree. Now, yes. D'Angelo was a massive Prince nerd. I mean, you only have to listen to his music to figure it out, but, he covered She's Always in My Hair. When Prince passed, he did an amazing version of Sometimes It Snows in April with Princess, the group, and all of that. So, yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm surprised that no one has said anything about this in the chat. I thought a lot of you would. So I'm curious how many of you are going to Celebration this year. What's really great is that they announced it really early, so you can start booking your flights and your hotels. So I'm curious if anyone in our community is going. For me, it depends on my wallet. What's going on with that? Because last year I couldn't go because a lot of dental work that I had to get done, and I'm still trying to finish some of that dental work. So Christina, yes, is going for sure. And Cassandra has booked two hotels. But Cassandra, what hotels did you book? I'm curious. And if you don't mind sharing, if not, just message me directly if you don't want to do that. And LTKK says early announcement makes me feel like they have something big in store, or they've been listening to the fans because the fans have been asking to just let us know in advance. And I love that the Dawn Experience 8795 says take my money. And Lady Cab Driver 72, this is a very good point. It's saying with all these planes falling out of the sky, I'm not going nowhere.
Wow.
Yes. And Carol Brooks says, I want to go for sure. Oh, that's so kind of you, Chris Bournet. I'm very much looking forward to the Parade Symposium, which is I Wonder U40. That's happening in April 17th through the 19th. And it is going to be one day is virtual, that Friday, and Saturday and Sunday is going to be in person in Brooklyn. So we hope that you will join us either virtually or in person. This year, we're not live streaming it because I don't have the budget that I've had in the past, and it costs a lot of money to live stream. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. And let's see, Purple Cat Confetti says, I would love to go, but I hope I have money for it. And SMS 130 says, I hope to be there. The wallet, yes, I'm with you. I am with you with SMS 130 official. The wallet is going to be the deal breaker. And D68A is saying, I think for the Round the Roller Day release, they are showing 4K upgrade of 1986 March 3rd show at Paisley. That would be nice. And let's see, Arlene Oaks says, plan to go, money willing.
Can I stab you for a second with the D68A? I've always wondered this, and you guys in the chat, two things. Put in the chat what you think about this, and don't take my purple card for this. I've always wondered if I wasn't as big of a fan of that show because of how bad the actual bootleg is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was always frustrated. Like I was one of those people, I'm sure you two and me in the chat, we've had that boot for like years. but it's one of the few bootlegs that I've had for going on 20 years now. I think I may have watched it twice.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's so bad, it's irritating. Does that make sense?
No, it really does. So actually, Celia, it's so interesting that you say that, because it's the same issue with me. Normally, I can get through any bootleg, but it's something about the video quality of that one
Right.
that makes it really hard to get through it. In terms of watching it, I can listen to it all day.
Exactly.
Watching it is like, and so it would be so amazing to have a 2K.
Right. Forget 4K.
Yeah, any K.
Right. Like some K. Just give us some K.
Just give us some resolution, some video resolution. I would be so happy, because it's a really important show, right? So it would be awesome if we were able to see that for sure. So there is a new video of it that's multicam, which I think they showed some of it last year. Is that right? Can someone like help me out, because I didn't go to Celebration last year. So there's a couple other comments about Celebration. One from Christina. I think something big will happen at Xcel Energy Center, now called Grand Casino Arena. I'm very happy, Christina, that you are with us, because I would not know this. It's so great to have a Minneapolis, St. Paul native, like, that area in the chat with us to let us know what's going on the ground. And yes, Kim, I am so with you in this economy. Yes, it's a lot going on right now. Okay. Yes. That's
yes. There you go.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So I love this. Carol Brooks says, me too. I began saving now. No new clothes for Christmas. So yeah, you prioritize what's important to you, even though like you might have to do a lot of sacrifices to get there. But it's definitely, if you put your mind to it, you'll get there. And let's see. Oh, and then SMS says, I get that one. It's the video quality and the fact that it's from one camera, not the multicam professional one. But there is a multicam one out there. So it would be really great if it could get like the official release. And Brian is saying, I can't watch or listen to inferior bootlegs now after the super deluxe edition expert quality. I totally understand that. And welcome, Sinik. It's great to have you here. I love that, Saturday Love. And LTKK. I love this. The sacrifice of Victor's wallet. That's right. For sure. It is definitely a Dear Estate moment. So we'll do this for Ricky, since Ricky is not here with us. So Dear Estate, we have so loved the amazing version of the Glam Slam show that you shared with us in the Diamonds and Pearl Super Deluxe. If only we could get the multicam 2K, 4K, 240p K, it doesn't matter, K, of the Parade First Avenue show. We would so love it, because it's an important show. And we love that era, Parade and Under the Cherry Moon and all that jazz. Okay.
Another question. And this may not, so I guess I'm asking more if this is feasible than anything. Do you know if the estate and Paisley Park, one has interns and or has contacted the University of Minnesota about interns doing various technical work, such as, going through the vault, looking at video, those kind of things. I was wondering if that would be something that could lessen the load on the estate by, creating MOUs. For those of you who don't know, memorandums of understanding. Colleges always have MOUs. I was just thinking about having MOUs with maybe, University of Minnesota or some other places where they could get interns to lessen their load, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've never heard of interns when it comes to Paisley Park or the estate. So, I think that's a really great possibility, especially, having the University of Minnesota, because, Elliot teaches a course there every semester, and his attendance, meaning like it started off at like 30 students, and now I think he's up to like 80 or 90 or maybe even more than that every semester. So there are a lot of students who are getting exposed to Prince through University of Minnesota. So I think that's a really amazing point for sure. And let's see. Yes. So yes, Carol. Yep. There's already a class there, but in terms of like a partnership, like with Paisley Park or the estate, I think that would be really, really cool. Thank you for putting that out there. And Ricky is doing, he's doing okay. So but send him some love. And he has ongoing health challenges. So we definitely want to make sure that we send love to Ricky, pretty Ricky, because we do miss him. Kim says, oh, because I didn't know this. Paisley Park used to have a couple interns in the 90s. Yep. And Brian is offering up his services for free. Just sounded
like honestly, like I'm so in love with live stuff, live video, that I would have, that would have been an intern job that I would have wanted, just either compiling or digitizing the live stuff, right? That would have been me, the thing.
Yep. So Nick wants you to shoot him an email if you have it, but I don't know if you have it.
Hold on, I'm gonna put my email in the chat. Can you put it? I'm gonna put it in the chat, and then you.
No, actually, can you not type on where it says all?
Me?
Yeah, at the bottom. Okay. Do you see where it said where you see all the comments?
Yeah, no, but it doesn't say. I've been doing. Look here, for the past 2 years, it just has join the chat, and every time I try to join the chat, it takes me away from the screen.
Oh, okay. So just put it in the private chat, and then I'll put it in the.
Okay.
Yep. And let's see.
And I was wondering, like, everybody can join the chat with me.
Is this true? Is this true, Lady Cab Driver, that Devontae Swing of Jodeci ran away from home to Minnesota and became an intern at Paisley Park? Because I
remember somebody did that, and I don't know if it was him or not, but I do remember that story about somebody.
Huh.
Yeah. So it may have been him, but that story I remember.
Yeah. Yes. More Prince boosts the immune system. That is correct. Thank you for that. Oh, I love this, Carol. Carol says, I want to intern in his wardrobe department to help preserve those beautiful clothes. Yes. All right. So let me copy and paste this and put in the comments for Nick and anybody else who wants to get in touch with Celie. There you go. All right, so let's get this party started before our timekeeper goes into full effect. Then we started off today with one of my favorite songs, Kenya, off of Times Squared, which is a Paisley Park release from 1991. And the reason why I love it so is because Prince is on the drums, and I love when Prince is on the drums, but it's also a wonderful, wonderful track with Eric Leeds and Elena Bliss on the horns. And we have our Larry Frantangelo, who we talked about in our very first season of What Did Prince Do This Week, on percussion. And this track was composed by Eric Leeds, which I find fascinating that it was a composition by Eric Leeds, but Prince played on it. So that's really fantastic. And again, we are week 45 of 1985 of What Did Prince Do This Week? And this is episode number 145. And this week, there is one studio session that Prince attended. And this is what we are going to be reading about in the book from Duane Tudahl. We're going to be talking about the piano renditions of An Honest Man and Venice de Milo that went into the film Under the Cherry Moon, as well as the score. And either it was a playback or a mixing. And then on Saturday, the 9th, Wendy and Lisa are in the studios in London with Susan Rogers doing mixes of I Wonder You, Soul Sister, which is an alternative title to New Position, which I don't remember reading that, but that I'm such a Bilal person. So anytime I see Soul Sister, I think of Bilal. So it's really interesting I would love to hear like this Soul Sister, which was supposedly a precursor to New Position. And then CT's Parade is because Christopher Tracy is so long. It's basically Christopher Tracy's Parade. And do you mind, Celie, reading about November 1985, which is page 233?
All right.
October had been filled with chaos. The family was crumbling and could not proceed without St. Paul Peterson. So all of the months of recording and planning that Prince had put into the band was collapsing around him. If he had started the family, if he had started the family to show how he could create another band as powerful as the time, the outcome was disappointing. He was successful in designing a groundbreaking new group, but just like the time, they self-destructed. Writing and producing his protege groups was second nature for him, but keeping the band together was turning out to be much harder than expected. There was still the option of continuing without Paul by boosting Susanna up to the lead singer. Susanna remembers, he asked me if I wanted to do that, and I said no, because I think I felt he didn't want me to say yes, and so I did what was right for us. It was some of the most fruitful periods of time working with him closely and loving him. So for me, it was like I really did think we were on to something else already. End quote. Talk of her fronting the band went no further than the initial discussion. Prince's Parade album was also in flux, with Old Friends for Sale and All My Dreams removed from the sequence around that time. I hate that Old Friends for Sale was removed. Throughout the confusion, Prince continued working on his film and had Wendy and Lisa record elements for the movie score, with Susan Rogers engineering the sessions. He also sent them to London to oversee editing with Video for America.
So, like you, Celie, I really regret that we didn't get Old Friends for Sale in real time. That would have been amazing and affiliated with Parade or even in the film. Well, actually, there is a little bit of it in the film in terms of the instrumental.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that would have been so awesome. And I don't know how All My Dreams would have fit in. I've always loved All My Dreams, but in terms of the film and in terms of Parade, I think that was probably a good decision to remove All My Dreams, but I do think that Oh Friends for Sale should have probably remained.
And this is not a knock. I know it's going to sound like it's a knock, and it really doesn't sound like it, but All My Dreams has always sounded like that song Putting on the Wrist by Taco.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so like you, I didn't know how it would have fit into, but it does have a dreamlike quality, I guess. And I guess Prince is going for that kind of 1940s black and white kind of dreamlike. I think that, but I'm like you, I don't think that sonically it would have, and I don't even think lyrically it may have fit either.
Yeah, I don't think so, but it would have made an amazing B-side.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So because like for me, when it came to Parade, we got Love or Money, which is an amazing B-side. We got Alexa Day Paris, which is an amazing B-side. But when we got to Another Love a Hole in Your Head, I was so disappointed when the B-side was Girls and Boys. Because first of all, Girls and Boys should have been its own single.
Right.
And second of all, it should have been like another B-side.
Mm-hmm.
Unreleased B-side is what we should have had. All right. Okay. Kim is saying yes. So yes, Brian agrees with me. Should have been a B-side. That's right. It could have been the B-side to Another Love a Hole in Your Head. And Chris Burnett says all my dreams and mountains are similar in my mind.
Okay. I mean, I'm not.
Say more about that, Chris Burnett.
Yeah. Like,
are you talking about musically, lyrically? What are you talking about? And Kim is saying all my dreams is good for a montage. I like that idea. But do you think sonically? I just think sonically it doesn't even fit, like in the film.
Right.
That's me. Yes, and we definitely wanted more tracks from Prince back in the day and today.
Yes.
Now and then.
Mo is Mo. I'm gonna keep saying it. Mo is Mo. Don't let nobody fool you. Like when you see that French's mustard and it say 40% Mo, Mo is Mo. Don't let them fool you.
That's right. And I love this from LTKK. The street needs another hits and B-sides for sure. Okay.
Hey, on that point, I need you to tell those of us who already have everything from Around the World in the Day era why it's important to get this new re-release.
Well, I mean, one, I think like one of the things that the re-releases do is that it introduces Prince to new fans and to new collectors, and also signifies the importance of the album. So I think it's really important for Around the World in a Day to get any treatment. Obviously, it would have been nice to have gotten like, I just wish it was a little bit more expanded, like having the America video would have been amazing. I'm still would love to have, instead of a singles box set, like a 12-inch box set,
Right.
which would be really great. And there's some other stuff that could have been added, but I appreciate that there's a spotlight on Around the World in a Day, and because it's an important record, and it's more than important. It's like it's a really good record, and it just doesn't get the love that, let's say, if you remove Purple Rain, that Parade gets. Like, it just doesn't get the same amount of love that Parade does, when I think it's just as important as Parade. I think for me, the reason why, well, at least I hope the reason why Parade gets more love is just because of Under the Cherry Moon, and the accompanying film with it. But that's just me.
Right. No, and I wanted to ask because I agree with y'all, and I agree with everybody in the chat. But I've heard people from time to time say, "Well, I already got that." So I know it's a few people like, "I already got that." And for me also, it's if you can. I want to say this, if you can, because we know how this economy is. But I like something that you say, Prof. Duff, a lot is we need to learn to vote with our dollars.
Yes.
And so I think that the other thing is, if you can financially do it, vote with your dollars, because the more we're able to spend and support, the more the estate is able to do. That's it. I'll shut up.
So Man Ray 10, I know that a lot of people want the remastered sound. I'm less of a person when it comes to the remasters. Like, what I've really gotten into lately is the Atmos releases. Like, the Atmos releases have been like really amazing. And I mentioned a couple weeks ago that the Doors have released their entire catalog in Atmos in a box set. And it's really, really incredible. So it would be great if Prince could get similar treatment instead of just one-offs for the Atmos releases. If there would be like a suite of albums that could get the treatment, I think it would be really great. Because when it comes to remastering, especially, I haven't done this subsequently, but when it came to the Sign of Time Super Deluxe, I have 2 turntables and a mixer. So I put on the remastered version and I put on my original vinyl, and I prefer the original vinyl. I don't know if it's because my ears are trained to the original vinyl, and I find like the remasters sometimes to be, I don't know, not as good as, or not the way that I remember hearing those songs. So yeah. No, I'm not trying to be fancy for the sake. It's so I love music, Sinek. I am an audiophile, and I'm also a record collector. I'm like, for me, before I'm a Prince fan, I am a record collector, and I am someone who loves listening to music because I grew up in a household where music was on all of the time. And so listening to music instead of through a computer or a laptop, I want to hear it in a sound system that is worthy of the music and the care in which a lot of musicians, including Prince and D'Angelo, who recorded in all analog. So that's me. So nope, don't want no holograms. Nope, because Prince wouldn't like that. Well, it's so nice to have you here, as well as Karan.
And I will say, and I'm not saying this to be a downer, but for you guys who get all the new stuff and the good stuff, y'all should enjoy it. I will say this, and this really is because I've had to do with me listening to so many bad bootlegs over my time. I actually have hearing loss in my left ear in relation to my right ear. So my left ear does not hear at the same volume or level as my right ear. And in fact, if music or something, if I'm at an event and it gets too loud, my left ear will sound like a busted speaker. You know that sound? So to those of you who are getting these new things and can appreciate them, I would say y'all go ahead and get them and enjoy them and appreciate them. But because of just the lower hearing in my left ear, I don't, the fine-tune things that a lot of people will miss, I kind of miss that. Though I'm glad I can still, one of my favorite things to hear is hearing Prince's fingers slide across the guitar strings on Sometimes It Snows in April. Like I love the sound of actually hearing Prince's fingers sliding across the guitar strings. That's it. I'll shut up.
All right. So I am so happy to see that Big Sexy is in the house, because Big Sexy is an audio snob, more of a snob than I am. So so there are some audio snobs out there, so Nick, where the sound is important. And yes, I love a good needle cracker for sure. Let's see. Chris Bournet said that you have a lot in common with Pete Escovedo, who said that years of playing live damaged the hearing in one ear. That happens with a lot of musicians, actually. And I love this comment from JJD Ingar. The Atmos mix of America sounded great. I think it's really neat the estate even bothered to do an Atmos mix of a 20-minute song. And let's see what's Andre's talking about. Every time the Doors are mentioned, I think about how they only released 5 studio LPs with Jim Morrison, and are still releasing music after 55 plus ish years later. Less from Jimmy Wright. That is correct. And you know what's crazy is I'm still buying those things because they always find a way to make you want to get the next thing for sure. Yes, Big Sexy on the check-in. That's right. And TP Lieber says, I get a kick out of hearing Prince snap his fingers while he's singing. It always tickles me when I hear it. I love that. And I'm with you, Golan. We can all use more footage of Prince on the bass or the drums for that matter. And yes. So, and then said the Doors released 6 studio albums in Jim's lifetime. Are you including an American Prayer in that? I'm curious, Brian. And then let's see. I'm a big, oh, you said in Jim's lifetime. So that's different because that would be outside of Jim's lifetime. So I answered my own question. And then Vanessa said, yeah, I'm a big extra with my music setup. Sounds hollow without a subwoofer. That's right, Vanessa. Okay, so let's get to the next chapter before Kim has already started timekeeping. So that means that we're going to
move it along.
Yes. Okay. Oh, hold on one second. I got to do this. There we go. We're going to do this because nobody wants to look at me. So, all right. Okay. Tuesday, November 5th, 1985. Estimate: An Honest Man, piano bar, sing 12, multiple versions, probably from the set. Venice de Milo, piano bar, sing, tracking, multiple versions, Under the Cherry Moon score, playback or mix. Puma Crest, mobile recording unit from Ad Vision Studios in Nice, France. Producer Prince, artist Prince, engineer Susan Rogers. This is a quote from Lisa Coleman. We spent a lot of time in the south of France, and a lot of the recording was done on a truck and taken to a studio and blended and then sent back to Minneapolis. Okay, this is Susan Rogers. Prince had so much money that he could afford to hire a truck from England to come to the south of France with a crew of 3, recalls Susan. The 3 guys from the Ad Vision truck were Larry, Barry, and Gary. Say that 3 times very fast. Larry, Barry, and Gary. Larry was the driver, Barry was the assistant engineer, and Gary was the tech. Those guys were great. And we would park the truck on set. While Prince was shooting, he was shifting from his time from inside the recording studio to being on the movie set. So he'd create music with Wendy and Lisa, but he'd also rely on them as well as Susan to help score and make musical changes to the songs that existed, remembered Rogers. This is Susan's quote. When we were in France doing the Cherry Moon movie, I was there with him the whole time. For the first time, I didn't have too much to do. We had a mobile truck there in case he wanted to record. He had Wendy and Lisa come out, and from there, to keep us busy, sent us to England for 3 weeks. He got us a little apartment and a chauffeured car and 3 weeks of time at Vision Studios. Great studio. He just said, go, write, come up with something, and then come back to France. Those are like amazing directions from Prince. Go, right? Come up with something and then come back to France. By November 9th, the crowd that Prince had flown to France began to disperse. Brown Mark flew back to the States, and the following day, Prince left for London with Wendy, Lisa, and Susan Rogers to do more editing on the America video and to spend some time recording at Vision Studio. So it must be nice to have a boss that can just send you to London for 3 weeks with a chauffeured car and apartment. That was really living the life.
So one of my holy grail things is to get a good copy of that 1986 New Morning Paris show, only because it has An Honest Man. That is that bootleg, that recording of An Honest Man, which is why I was so mad when Crystal Ball came out and I saw Honest Man and I was like, oh, it's in it, that had that thing on it that is called An Honest Man. But if the estate is listening, I want to do a full estate moment. That New Morning Paris show, if you're going to do a parade box set, I would love for that New Morning Paris show to be included. Because I don't think, because I know Prince did, but I don't think since Prince's death, has the parade done, has the estate done an after show in any of the box sets?
No.
So I think that if you're going to do a parade box set, you should do an after show. And I think that New Morning Paris, I'm sure some people have some other ideas about what would be the great, because didn't there like the official, I may be wrong, I may be a year behind, so people in the chat correct me. What we know of as the after shows, did they begin in the parade era or before? For some reason, I got them beginning doing the parade tours, but I may be wrong on that. But I think that New Morning Paris show, that to me would be a great includer to include in a parade box set. I'll shut up.
I think that there was one Purple Rain after show, but I don't know that to be sure. But I feel like I heard about that. Can someone confirm or deny? Even though Sinik is saying that the parade tour launched the first after shows. Yeah, D68A says there was one or two in Purple Rain. I know there was at least one. That's what at least I heard, or two for Purple Rain. And Memory 10 is saying there was an after show during the 1999 tour. What was like what city it was? But
I like what Lady Cab Driver has, right? That so we could say that it became a thing during parade.
Yeah, it definitely became a thing.
We would say it became a thing. That what we know of as after shows and whatnot, it became a thing during parade. Cool.
All right, let's keep our reading. The next one, Saturday, November 9th.
All right. I Wonder You, Mix, Soul Sister, Variation in New Position, Mix, New Position, Guitar Overdubs, and Mix, Christopher Tracy's Parade, possibly still named Wendy's Parade Mix, Addivision Studios, London, England, producers Wendy and Lisa, artist Prince and the Revolution, engineer Susan Rogers. You want a Susan Rogers quote?
Yes.
Okay. During the filming of Under the Cherry Moon, there was some downtime when we didn't have to be on the set. Wendy, Lisa, and I were in England, and Prince joined us for a couple of days at Addivision Studios, end quote. Once they arrived in London, Rogers recalls how she felt about the studio. Quote, I liked the room. It was tiny, but it was a legendary studio. We didn't spend much time there, but we were working on the first few songs on the Parade album. I remember working on New Position, end quote. For this weekend, Prince was traveling with Susan Rogers, Wendy, and Lisa, and contributed to the first batch of mixes, which involved work on several of the tracks from the first day of recording his Parade album in mid-April, including I Wonder You, Christopher Tracy's Parade, and New Position. This is Susan again. Quote, we did another version of New Position with additional lyrics and we played around with it. I don't remember it being specifically slower, but it was a different version, end quote. The addition to New Position likely included a section that Prince had Prince, Wendy, and Lisa chanting "Big Old Soul Sister," which is one of my favorite moments from the America parade. I mean, from the America video. This had been used by the Revolution during rehearsals and live concerts from previous years and can be heard on his June 7, 1984 birthday show during Possessed. During the recent performance of America in Nice, which was being edited into a music video during the same week, as well as on the Purple Rain tour, and it would continue during the parade tour. Although it was unclear exactly when this part of the song was recorded, Wendy recalls how it came about. This is Wendy, quote, Prince came up with the Big Old Soul Sister and he said, do it, just sing it. I think it was just a kind of refrain. It's great. I loved it, end quote. Let me go over. Is there nothing more? Yeah, it's a little bit more. All right. The session lasted into the following day. It's likely that Prince had to get back to Nice to continue working on the film. Status. The Soul Sister 219, 224 mark variations of New Position was not included on the Parade album. A version with horns was added, but they may have been orchestra. Yeah, but that may have been orchestra from Claire Fisher. All studio recordings of Soul Sister remain unreleased during Prince's lifetime.
All right, we need to hear that. That's I'm doing really quick. Dear State, please, we need to hear the Soul Sister, both versions.
That's interesting because, like, I remember Soul Sister as a fast chant, and New Position is a really slow song, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like you. I'm curious to hear how they did that, right? I'm curious to hear how that happened. How it would sound, just because one is one speed and then one is the other speed. So I'm like, I want to hear that, just see how they would mix that. Because that's the one thing Prince was a genius at, as we all know, was changing how he did things live all the time, which gave you those extra moments. So yeah, I would love to hear that. That's it. And my bad for being muffled when I was reading, y'all. My bad on that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it didn't sound muffled to me, but I think I hear things differently for some reason with my setup, because it always sounds a little different from what the audience hears. All right, so we are done with our reading for the week, and I have some photos to share, and I guess I'll turn off the comments so we can make sure we can see the photo. This is one of my favorite photos that Jeff Katz actually took, and it is in the middle. You can see Prince and Jerome, with Jerome holding the clapboard for Under the Cherry Moon, and Prince looking very Prince-like in his Christopher Tracy coat. I just love this photo. This is one of my favorite photos of all time affiliated with Prince, because one, Prince is a boss, but he is a literal boss. Do you see all these people? Do you see all these people? This means that Prince, was able to give them jobs and have.
You see these cufflinks? Yeah. See these cufflinks? That's how I got these cufflinks.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. And so this is just such a great photo. For so many reasons, but the main reason is, one, I just love how happy Jerome is and how like poker face Prince is. I love that juxtaposition as well. And yes, I love Blake Brown, like the styling, the crew jackets is really cool. With like one of the graphics that we see on one of the cards that Christopher Tracy has. And yes, Prince always looks cool. And yes, Jerome also looks cool too. And yes, I love this, Carol, in his PJs and overcoat. It's so great.
I don't remember what Prince was wearing in that last scene, but based on what Jerome is wearing, it looks like they either were getting ready to had just shot his fight scene when we beat up the two dudes, and
Oh yeah.
only confused men wear loafers.
Yeah.
You aren't confused, are you?
Yes. One of my favorite scenes of all time. Okay. So, all right. So Jeff Katz took this photo. Just so everybody know, Jeff Katz is my favorite Prince photographer because I have opinions. And then this is another photo of Prince, and it's sort of being, like a director with all the, looking and all that. And then here is like some of the call sheets. So you can see Prince, Kristen Scott Thomas. I don't know who. Oh, the Jaded Trio. So there's Victor, Miriam. I can't pronounce that name. John Rico.
Yeah, those were the three people who spent the movie talking about people.
Yeah.
And also remember when Tricky is mad at Prince and he says, "Please, if you have nothing nice to say about someone, come say it to us," right?
Yes. I did love that trio. They would show up, they even showed up when Tricky got the car, or Tricky bought the car from one of them, I think.
Yep.
And they were a hoot for sure. And so you can see these locations: the shopping center, the Diva shop, the Benucci shop. There's like, I don't know what Alaska is.
Yes, Braid Brown. I mean, I tried for years to say what she said. Delilah. All I know is an insult. So those of y'all who speak French, let us know what she said. She called Tricky something. I don't know what she called him, but I know she called him a name.
Yes. All right. Okay. So this is one of the call sheets, and let me see anything. Right now, Mary Lambert is the director, and the unit call was at 7:15 a.m. at the hotel, and they had to be on location by 8 o'clock. And then there was lunch from 12:30 p.m., and there was catering on location. And let me see if there's anything else interesting on here. Yeah, we know about the shopping mall. So this is when they shot the shopping mall and the Can Street. So this is basically a map of when they go shopping. And this is, so if you ever go, do you think you can use this map to find out like where they were doing all their shopping when they go on that shopping spree? And here are more maps. And again, these are just for the nerdy people who you can just pause if you're watching this on video, repeat if you need this, if you're in France or anything like that. Then here is something about the transportation for Under the Cherry Moon. And this is like a wardrobe fitting for Katie. Katie, who was the
smile, Katie, you're naked.
Yes. So you can see that. And then this is one of like a Polaroid of a shot location, which we see in black and white. And then these are some, I would love to get my hands on this, these contact sheets from the scouting locations for Under the Cherry Moon. So I'm sure this was from like an auction or something. And then this is the newspaper that Christopher Tracy has when he's in the tub. And I translated it. So if someone is French and or knows French, please let me know if anything about this is wrong, because I'm sure that it is. But the headline reads, "We wish Mary Sharon a happy birthday for her 21st year. The heiress of the seas is celebrating her birthday today in the family residence in Antibes." If I'm pronouncing that correctly, yeah, probably not. This Friday, September 13th at 9 p.m. in the Cathedral of Grasse, or however you pronounce that, the Ensemble U Nord will give a concert with the participation of a brass quartet, 2 trumpets, a horn, and a trombone. A program of exceptional quality is expected under the direction of the maestro M. Michelle Jordan. This concert, as well as other performances, among the most anticipated events on the Côte d'Azur for music lovers and connoisseurs of the vocal arts. Without revealing all the surprises, we can say that several renowned artists will interpret classical works known to all. So first of all, I think this is an actual like, I know this is a mock newspaper, but I think the name of the newspaper is a real newspaper, Nice Matin, because from last week we actually saw some real articles from that newspaper. So I thought that was cool. And I always wanted to know what that article said. So it's great to kind of know a little bit.
So and people in the chat can answer too. And then, like you said, real newspaper. I was thinking about that. This is kind of like, remember those old school society pages?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, and I know we're all digital now. So I guess to anybody in the chat and even to you, like, I wonder, do the society pages exist like they did, say, pre the 2000s, right? Because people, and maybe some people young don't even know what the society pages were. But like this, what you just read, that was like the best example. And so one of the dreams of a lot of people, they wanted to get into society pages, right? And the society pages was like the precursor. Remember that television show? What was it? The Rich and Famous with the guy?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So but
yeah. So before you had that television show, The Rich and Famous, all you had were the society pages. So I wonder, how do the society pages roll today? And also, I want to thank Lady Cab Driver. She what's the word? Told us what that is, Q scandal, which probably means what a scandal, right? So she gave us the translation for that. But anyway, I was thinking about that, the society page. Robin Leach, there you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Robin Leach.
Yes. And thank you, Andre. But I do get a little help from someone who is a fanatic, just as so much as someone who's near and dear to me. They know who they are. So I get some help. So it was Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous. Yes, love that show in real time because I was very young. It was very different for that time. We're used to it now, but at the time it was pretty revealing.
It almost seemed like those people lived on a different planet.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, like you said, now with everybody on the institutes and facegrams, everybody, all y'all out there on institutes and facegrams, lying like y'all balling like that. But when you was a child, like I remember being 15, 16 years old in 85 and 86 and seeing Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, it looked like it was like, I remember that was the first time I was like, do you really need that much? Because I'd never seen anything like that. And it really looked like these people lived on a different planet. So yeah, you can't really stress. I don't want to use the word revolutionary, so we'll just say how different that show was for the time.
It was eye-opening.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, revelatory.
Yeah. That's a good word. Revelatory. That's a good word. Like that's the first time I think I went, damn, I'm broke. I'm like, I didn't know I was broke till I saw that show.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. These are the cards that Christopher Tracy would give out, to come see him play. So there are actually several versions of these cards. So here are a couple, and then here's another one. And that part at the bottom says, every evening Christopher plays for your pleasure from 10 p.m. until dawn. I love that Christopher plays for your pleasure. This is so funny. Gollin says, what is a face grab?
Look at, I don't know what none of them are. I've never sent a text or a tweet in my life. So that's what they are to me. Facegram and Instabooks. That's what they are to me. So
oh my God. So here's another card which has 3 Venice de Milos on it. And then this is actually what the crew had on their jackets. So like this moon and the Venice de Milo, and it looks like a palm tree. But if we go back to the that's actually what they have on their on their jackets, is this moon here. And
Lady Cab Driver was there. I always thought that was like really good writing. The fact that in the tarot cards was the card to where he plays.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always thought that was a nice piece of subtle good writing, right? Yeah. That lets you know that they were thinking about the narrative in this, and really want, no matter how people may feel about it, little touches like that really make you think about or understand that they were really serious about that, right? There you go.
Yeah. And Pedro says the society pages today is Instagram.
There you go.
And this is one of my favorite moments. I don't know why, but on the car that Christopher Tracy drives. Actually, no, this is the tricky car. Florida Love. But isn't it also on the car that Christopher Tracy drives in the beginning? So am I mixing that up? So
I thought it was on. I thought it was
no,
on.
no. So I think actually I'm getting it mixed up. So this is on. I thought on Christopher Tracy's car, and then maybe Tricky's car has Tricky, doesn't it?
Now I'm forgetting because I remember Love being on the. Remember when he picks up Mary and he takes her from the airport.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember Love being on the front of that car.
Yeah, but what I find interesting, because I never realized this, and now I need to go watch Under Cherry Moon one more time, which I don't mind, is that the tag that he has on the car in Paris, I mean, not Paris, but in France, has Florida on it.
Right.
I have to go and look at that. I wish Edgar was here today because he would know for sure. Where are my Under Cherry Moon aficionado people on here? All right, let's see.
Somebody talking about them expired tags.
Yes. So Christopher's convertible is Love. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. But now I got thrown off because it says Florida. So I'm assuming it says Florida in the film.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. That's what I thought.
Yeah, because they're from Miami.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Miami, baby.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is really interesting. I never noticed Florida in the film. I always saw Love, but I never saw Florida. I also find it interesting, just because this is the kind of person I am, that the tag has 84 instead of 85, but that's just me. But, I don't know. Okay, so yes, Raywin is with me. How come they said Florida 84? Because Prince did the movie Purple Rain in 84. Yes. I'm with you, Raywin. Raywin's with me. Okay. Now, these are just some drawings from the film. So you can actually see this is the headboard of Mary Sharon's bed. And you can see it here of the way that it looks like in the film. These are some of the cards that we've already looked at. This is, I think, when the record store scene and when Prince gets up and performs Girls and Boys. And this is too dark for me to figure out what's going on here. And then this is just the original, one of the original sketches. This is the actual original sketch because you can see it's refined in this one of the headboard. And it just is a sketch and it says like head of Mary's bed. And it talks about the scale of it and all of that. And let's see. Okay, thank you, Kim. Kim was like, that's his American car in France, so that's the reason why. But it seems like you wouldn't be able to do that in another country. I don't know. Okay.
So, and my question was, did he bring it over on the boat?
Yeah.
Did he have it shipped over on the boat?
Yeah, well, and would he have money? I guess, and would he have money to do that? They made a lot of money to be able to do that.
Well, look here, Miss Wellington looked like she had a lot of money.
Yes, I also was very obsessed with that clear phone too, the neon telephone. Yes.
So was I the only person, and maybe it was explained and I missed it, but even in real time, I was always like, why Miami? Like I was like of all the places from where they could have been, why did I? So if anybody knows any insight to why they chose Miami or why they thought Miami, I just always thought it was interesting. I always wondered like why Miami? And again, at that time, I wasn't as the only thing I knew about Miami then was the Miami Dolphins. Let me be real honest with you. Like I didn't know much about Miami, but I didn't know that's really all I knew about Miami. So maybe it's because my lack of just knowledge about it then. So anyway, that's it. Anybody knows?
I wonder when did Miami Vice come out?
Yeah, somebody just said Miami Vice was a hot show then.
Yeah. that was my first thing that I thought about. Oh, I love this from Carol. Miami may have been a gigolo's paradise then.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll
Yeah,
take that.
And then Kim says Miami is international city of scammers. Okay. And Sanik is saying Prince had a big Miami history. What's I mean, I
Okay.
know he's performed there. Can you talk a little bit? Can you unpack that? Other than
Yeah, that'll make sense. That'll make sense. I like all them answers.
Yeah. And let's see. Oh, I love this one from Blake Brown. Divorcees with money.
There we go. I like that one. I like that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
In fact,
but Glam, yeah, but this was before the Glam Slam in Miami. So
in fact, one of my first book tours was in a retiree town in Miami, Fort Pierce, Florida. And I didn't know it was a retirement town until I got there, Prof. Duff, and that's all I'm gonna say. so if you are touring, doing any kind of touring and get booked somewhere, you might want to find out whether or not it's an old retiree place before you get there. Because when I got there, so
okay. Now here is some I think this is in a newspaper. This is Mary Lambert, the original director who had directed some videos for Madonna. And the caption of this image, it says above Prince live or droopy matador. I don't know what this means. And I'm hoping that somebody has some insights. I don't know if droopy matador was a show, a character. I don't know what this Chiquita thing is. And then it says Prince and Mary Lambert, the director of Under Cherry Moon. She was fired after a few weeks. So we can see them both on set. And then
I think Craystar Fish, that actually, if I'm not mistaken, came from a real event that happened to them, right? Wasn't the bat scene based on something that happened in real life?
Oh, yeah. Actually, Jerome said that I heard it from Jerome directly when I interviewed him for Grown Folks Music Podcast. He told me that story, but he has since gone on and told that story. But yeah, it was a real thing that happened in Minneapolis. Like when the Time was actually doing like a rehearsal or something.
Right.
And I don't know where the bats came from.
Right.
But the bat scene in Under Cherry Moon is one of my favorite scenes in Under Cherry Moon because basically Christopher Tracy and Tricky are way in the restaurant, like way down in there, not by the door, but they are the first ones out.
That's right.
I always thought that was so funny that they were the first ones out.
And that was one of my favorite racial moments because they come out of that cafe low running. Now, if you don't know what low running is, the people in the chat, if you don't know what low running is, but Christopher and Tricky, they come out that cafe low running like pow, 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 pow. So if you've ever had to leave a club fast, that's called low running. Anyway.
Yes. So everyone's asking why she was fired. I mean, I don't know why she was fired, but I mean, Prince took over. So that would lead me to believe that he was unhappy.
But I remember, I think I got it from you or somebody else. She talked about it, that what she realized was that Prince wanted her to be more of a consultant than a director.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, she talked about that when she realized she was just being a consultant and not a director, that it was just best for her to go. At least that's what I think I remember hearing her say.
Well, I Love Sexy 71 says she didn't understand the script. I mean, I think that, so in real time, like Prince got a lot of flack for directing Under the Cherry Moon because it was a flop to a lot of people in real time. I mean, obviously, actually, a lot of the quote unquote film critics, like real film critics, have gone back and looked at that film and they've reappraised it. And it has held up much better than, let's say, Graffiti Bridge. Like Graffiti Bridge over the years has not gotten raised in its esteem, but Under Cherry Moon has been reappraised. And I think that I'm happy that Prince took over because it is a very particular and bespoke film to Prince and Jerome, for that matter, because to me, it's a film about Christopher Tracy and Tricky, more so than it is about Christopher Tracy and Mary Sharon and their relationship. Because, you know, what I find interesting is that the film actually ends with Tricky. It could have ended with Mary Sharon, because Mary Sharon sends Tricky the letter that, you know, he reads, but Prince chose to end it actually with Tricky.
Right.
Which I think is like very, very telling. I will say, Vanessa, that over the years, as I get older and older, I understand Graffiti Bridge more and more. And I think like one of the problems that I had with Graffiti Bridge initially was the way that it was shot. Now, if you compare Graffiti Bridge to Purple Rain, I'm not talking about the plot, just the way the cinematography and the way it's shot. Like with Purple Rain, you get a lot of external outside shots, and also the internal shots. There are a lot of different locations. You know, you got 7th Avenue, you get Morris's apartment, you get Prince's basement, you get the upper part of the house. You get, you know, like just not just the 1st Avenue Club, but you also get the Taste Club, and you just get like a lot of different shots. Graffiti Bridge, because it was shot mostly on the sound stages of Paisley Park, it has a very surreal, sort of dreamy quality to it. And the one external shot feels very out of place, like when Prince is on a motorcycle or something. And I always just did not like the way that it was shot. But now that I kind of understand like what he was going for, it makes more sense as an older person. But when I was younger, I was like, I don't know what's going on.
I treat Graffiti Bridge, and this, you'll get this, but some of the people in the chat ain't gonna get this because they're not country enough. Graffiti Bridge is my theatrical lunch meat. And for those of y'all who've never had lunch meat, I'm glad you've never had lunch meat.
Like Spam?
No, not Spam. Well, okay. You know what? Spam will work for the people in the chat that ain't never had lunch meat. So yeah, if you never had lunch meat and don't know what lunch meat is, Spam will be the closest to it. And what I mean by that is, it's one of those things where you know it's not good, but you like it anyway. Like that's what Graffiti Bridge is. Like I like the message of Graffiti Bridge more than its execution. So I'm willing to sit through the terrible execution of it simply because I love the message so much. And I will say I also love the music. Like I'm one that I like the Graffiti Bridge album. And so liking the Graffiti Bridge album, I like the actual songs in it. So it's like I said, I want to be clear. I like the theme. Hey, Heavenly Games, that's disrespectful. Fried bologna is a national delicacy. Don't ever equate fried bologna with lunch meat. Fried bologna, it's a delicacy. Don't you ever disrespect fried bologna. Getting out there. I look here, and let me say how country I am. Just over here, I grew up, Prof. Duff, frying my bologna on the open flame. We didn't even put it in the skillet.
Okay, I put it in the skillet.
You would turn your eyes on and drop your bologna right on the flame and let that bologna bubble up and turn it over and then put it on your bread on the plate. You didn't even get a skillet dirty for that fried bologna. That's it.
I pulled out the cast iron skillet to fry my bologna.
You had your bologna in the skillet, huh?
Yes.
That was taking too long for me.
Yes, I also agree with Celie. The music from Graffiti Bridge is incredible. You get A Question of You, which is a masterpiece. Joy and Repetition, which is my favorite Prince song of all time, bar none. There's just so many amazing songs. Thieves in the Temple. Yes. Yes.
That's right. That's one I'm
oh, I love this. It's burning. It's burning. Thank you for that, Blade Brown. I needed that. All right. Okay. So let's go to more photos here. And there's another one with Mary Lambert and Prince. Prince is looking down, going like, I'm not listening to you.
He really got that look like, lady, just stop talking. Look, just stop talking.
Yes, I've seen. You know what this reminds me of? Actually, I recently watched the Devil's Pie documentary, the D'Angelo documentary. And I don't know if you remember the scene when Alan Lees is talking to D'Angelo about how he should open the tour by sitting down on the piano.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Like, I was like, doesn't he see that he is he is not liking this idea? And Alan just kept on. It was so funny to me. So this is what this reminds me of in this moment. Like, keep talking, but I'm not listening. Okay, so this is one of my favorite, like, candid shots during the shoot, and that is Earl Jones.
Yes, give it up for Earl.
Got to give it up for Earl, and Earl is actually Jill Jones's uncle, but Earl Jones did the hair for Prince for a long time, and his hair was amazing for Under the Cherry Moon and the Parade era and all of that. So I love this shot. And also, I just love seeing anything from this era around the film in color, because it was just so rare to see something in color from, because it was just like this world was black and white. So
okay, so for one more time, because I know you've answered this question a million times, but I always forget.
I love this. I got to make sure I put this caption up. Oops, wrong.
There you go. Yeah, that's perfect. So
go ahead.
I know you've answered this a million times. Shot in black and white or shot in color and transposed to black and white?
Okay, so all right. Yes, that is Jill's uncle. Yep. Let's see. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you for letting me know that. I did not know that. Thank you, Bodhisattva. And I only know that because I am a Steely Dan fan. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to say that at all. So I'll definitely check that out. Thank you. And yes, Uncle Earl was a magician. Prince's hair never sweated out, ever. That is correct. Okay, so there's a lot of controversy around whether or not there is a color version of the film. Duane says it's not, because he says he talked to someone who was he talked to someone that was involved with the shooting of the film. And then I asked Jerome himself, and he was like, yes, on that same podcast that we were talking about earlier. But I was recently watching, I think it might have been the Martin Scorsese documentary that's on Apple right now, which is also really good if you're into film. It's like a 5-part series, if I'm getting the number of parts correctly. And they were talking about some film where it was shot on a film. They were talking about how you could either shoot in color and then convert it to black and white, or there was a special kind of film that you could buy where you would actually shoot it in black and white. But that probably isn't the case, because Jerome said that he would see the dailies in color. So I would imagine that they shot it in color on color film, because this special film, this guy was talking, said it was much more expensive than the special black and white film versus just doing the color and then converting it. So I think it was shot in color on color film and it was converted, but I don't know. This is just me.
Okay.
I'm making an educated guess based off of what Jerome has said in terms of being able to see the dailies in color. But Duane says, there isn't a black and white version a color version of the film. So we will see. But even if there isn't a color version of the film, there is technology where you can convert a black and white film into color, because they've done it with a lot of classics, like TCM and all of that.
Has it gotten better? Has the ability to do that gotten better?
Yeah, it has. Because when they first started doing it, it didn't look that hot.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely gotten better. So Kim says shot in color process is black and white is what it seems. I think
also,
that sounds about right.
Just also, if Sanique is discussing the person I think he is, yeah, shout out PJ Jones. PJ Jones, this person I think about doesn't get enough, I want to say, publication in the Prince world. I think that we gloss over PJ Jones, and I think that PJ and I'll admit that I think that it was in Sneak's documentary, which if you haven't seen Sneak's documentary, you should check it out. I think that was the first time I really became aware of and familiar with PJ Jones. If the same person, the brother who was Prince's manager for a short time, and then he got swindled out of being Prince's manager through what Warner Brothers was doing through the points and all of that. And Sneak can let me know if that's the same person, but yeah, that person doesn't get enough pub, and I'll just say that. And then, so if you go do some research on that dude, because it would have been really interesting to see what Prince's career would have been with him. All right, I'll shut up.
Yeah. So, Chris Burnett. So I don't know necessarily if. So usually when people, let's like with Sneak's comment about Spike doing black and white, it's usually was like 16 millimeter film. That's the black and white that people could use that was cheaper than, let's say, 35 millimeter film. But this documentary again was about shooting a 35 millimeter film. And because, I mean, obviously when cinema started, it wasn't in color and it was all black and white film. But I think once they converted to color film in terms of 35 millimeter, not 16 millimeter or 8 millimeter, where it was still cheaper to do it in black and white versus color, I think it was more expensive to do black and white with 35 millimeter print versus color. So that's where we need like some film historians in here to help out.
To that point, and to Sneak's point, well, she got to have it only shot in black and white.
I think so. Isn't there a scene though? Where's the part where there's a scene at Fort Green Park? Is that at the end?
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's at the end.
Okay.
They're like this ending sequence when they're dancing. Isn't that? And she's got to have it. So that's the colored part.
Okay.
Yeah. Dave Brown says that there's a dance scene in color. Yeah.
Okay. Good deal. All right. Cool. Thanks.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain, Brian, is that it costs more to shoot 35 millimeter in black and white film, not 16 millimeter or 8 millimeter film, which is cheaper black and white with that. So, yeah. Okay. All right. So we got Earl Jones. We get some more Earl Jones and Prince makeup and all of that from Under the Cherry Moon. And Nick Felden says that PJ Jones is from Denver.
Okay.
And
black people everywhere then. All right.
Yep. And Annie says, I was in the restaurant a couple of weeks ago. I'm not going to pronounce it because I know I'm going to mess it up. They confirmed the film and still remember it. So is this the restaurant with the bat scene, Annie? Let's see.
You afraid of bats? I ain't afraid of.
It says, I mean, from the mountain video shoot, looks like they were using the same film for the movie. Not necessarily. I mean, it could have been shot with different equipment.
Oh, I didn't know that. That Spike was with Prince in LA when Prince was editing. Okay, so Sneak. Okay, so that anyway, I got to go in about 8 minutes. So, but that brings up an interesting thing. Somebody put in the chat. School Days. So, what year did School Days come out? Because when School Days come out, Spike and Prince are beefing.
Are they?
Yeah, because in a 90s interview, there's a 90s interview where Spike interviews Prince and they talk about it. And Spike basically wants to apologize, but Prince was like, that's all water under the bridge. Because if you go to in School Days, Samuel Jackson plays some kids so School Days is 88. So Samuel Jackson is playing a character who doesn't go to school. And when the school guys try to ask for, I think it was either the pepper or something on the table, Samuel Jackson does a Morris Day impersonation. And the Morris Day impersonation is a mocking impersonation. So it's not an impersonation of he's saying Morris Day is cool. That Spike is having Samuel Jackson mock Morris Day as being a kind of ignorant, unintellectual type person. And so that was a beef there between Spike and I wish I could remember. It's a 90s, but it's a late 90s era, because I don't think it was 2000. So anybody remember the interview where Spike is interviewing Prince, and Spike briefly mentions it, and then Prince basically cuts it off and saying that's in the past. We're where we are now, as a way to say we don't have to revisit when we were beefing. That's it. I'll shut up.
One, I never saw this interview with Spike and Prince, so I would like to know when that happened. And then in terms of Sanik's comment about Spike was with Prince in LA while Prince was editing UTCM, do you have like an article? Like, where are you getting that information? Because I would like to see that just for research purposes. Okay, so this is basically Mayor Sharon and Katie, in between probably filming around that era. And then this is another great photo of Jerome and Prince. I should have paired this with when they were in front of the building with all of the crew. This is Prince did not look happy here, but he's in his Christopher Tracy Kiss. I call it the Kiss jacket because this is on the cover of the Kiss single. And you got Jerome. And this is another article that's in Dutch. I really hope that Edgar was going to be here, but this is a rough translation. It says, Prince incognito, but not really, from a super deluxe limousine steps out a short-haired guy dressed in green, apparently making a failed attempt to stay unnoticed. Why the huge crowd and all those cameras? Well, of course, the people in Nice also want to see something other than suntan, oiled-up tourists for once. The whole city has turned out to watch a filming of the new movie by His Royal Highness Prince. Whether Prince has truly lost his, I don't think this is a correct translation, his wild hair in this follow-up to Purple Rain, which would be called Under the Cherry Moon, remains to be seen. One thing's for sure, he'll also be taking charge of the musical part of the production, so that promises something special. And then this is a closer shot of the photo.
All right, so I'm gonna jump off.
Yep.
But I actually just put a link to that interview. It was actually a 2014 interview, so I just put the link in the private chat if you want to put it in. But but I'll read just one segment of it where Spike is apologizing. So this is from that 2014 interview. Spike is talking to Prince, and this begins with Spike. Lee, 6 or 7 years ago, I had the audacity to write a letter about your choice of women used in music and music videos. Do you remember that? Prince, yes. Lee, let's talk about that. I think it was very rude on my part. I'll be 40 on March 20th, and in a lot of ways back then, I was too righteous about that type of stuff. Tell the audience what was in that letter I wrote you. Prince, I don't remember exactly. It's really vague to me. Lee, I wrote, quote, are you going to be any women of dark complexion in your music videos and your films? You had only white women in your stuff, end quote. Do you recall what you wrote back to me? You set me straight there. Prince, I probably said one had to look at everything I've done, not just the most successful pieces. But I have to be honest, I know you are as different a person now too. We met under different circumstances back then. I have grown, and so have you. That's it. And I always thought that was a really interesting. Interesting back and forth. But I like the way Prince was able to say, it was in 1997, but reprinted in 2014. Exactly. So that's it. But I just always like that back and forth, and it always made me wonder what would have happened if Spike would have directed Under the Cherry Moon. Hey man, I always thank you, Prof. Dust, for doing this. Thank all you guys for hanging out in the chat. I got to get in the car and drive up to Clarksdale, Mississippi to see my Jackson State Tigers continue their journey to another national championship. I will see everybody no, I won't, because the game is at 12 noon next Saturday. So I'll see everybody in 3 weeks, because next week the game is at 12 noon. See everybody in 3 weeks. I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you, Brock Duff, for doing this and keeping us together as a family.
I really appreciate you stopping by. and Thee I Love. All right. Okay. So yes, Zakia, Thee I Love. And I love this. Go see Lee. All right. So I think we're almost at the end of the photos here. So I like this green suit. You don't see Prince often in green. You know, we get some green during Love Sexy. Even we get greens here and there. Love the shot. I love the playful look on Prince's face here. I love the shot. I love candid shots. And so this brings us to the end of week 40. Did I not change that? I think it's a different week, but it's okay. Basically, so far in 1985, there are 52 new songs total, but he didn't create any new songs this week. And there are 78 studio sessions because there was one studio session this week. So far in 1985, Bilal is still on tour in Europe, and it's November the 8th, and he will be in Norway tonight for all of the European What Did Prince Do This Week viewers. And then in terms of the Purple World, we talked about this earlier, so we won't talk about this anymore, but they have released the dates for celebration at Paisley Park in June, so June 3rd to June 7th for the 10th anniversary celebration of life of Prince. So you can start booking your hotels and flights. And then we cannot forget about Dr. Funkenberry, who is still battling cancer. So please send him kind words, as well if you can donate to his GoFundMe. I know he would appreciate that because it's very, very expensive. And yes, Karan Bilal was nominated for a Grammy, which is really fantastic. And then in addition to that, Addie Durant also has a GoFundMe. And again, for those of you who may not know Addie Durant, she was a huge part of the Clubhouse fan-produced audio version of Purple Rain, which was spectacular and a pretty phenomenal feat, actually. If you haven't heard it, they did an amazing job. They had to cast all these people. They had like all these sound effects. It was so well done. So if you can help out Addie by contributing to her GoFundMe or sending a kind word, that would be amazing as well. And then Des Dickerson also has a GoFundMe, and everybody should know who Des is. And in case you don't, Des was a guitarist in Prince's band in the beginning. All right, and so we have an accompany playlist, and in that accompany playlist, we have the vocal version of An Honest Man and a couple of live performances of An Honest Man, one with Prince and the Revolution from Paris in '86, which is nice, and then the actual scene from Under the Cherry Moon. And then there's Venice de Milo from Parade, as well as I Wonder You from Parade. And I found a really fantastic piano version by another musician of Venice de Milo from 5 years ago. It was a really stunning version of Venice de Milo. And then there's Prince's own live version from Brazil. And then there are a lot of other things that are in the accompanying playlist this week. So I would highly suggest, if you have not listened to An Honest Man from the Paris August 1986 show, that you do so. It's a really beautiful rendition of that. And you can hear the instrumental version of the tune from the opening of On the Cherry Moon when Christopher Tracy is playing piano. All right, so we are at the end of our time together. So timekeeper, I am ending way on time because we're not even going to get to 2 p.m. So I hope that everyone has an amazing week. I hope that tomorrow, and even you can start doing it today, to wish Michael Dean a happy birthday for tomorrow and to make sure that he feels better. And also reach out to Pretty Ricky to let him know that you are thinking of him. I really appreciate it. And also, I want to give a special shout out to all of you who take time out of your Saturdays to be here with us. I really loved some of the the comments today. My favorite being the nah one from Sinek in terms of the caption of the photo of Prince, because I could totally hear him saying that. So have an amazing weekend, and we'll be here next week, unfortunately, without C. Lee. Same bat time, same bat channel.